channel. Today I'm reporting from my sick bed. I'm sure you can hear it in my voice. I don't even have my microphone on, and of all days, of course I should have a microphone on. Um, but yeah, I don't have one right now. I thought this was allergies, but then last night or yesterday afternoon I started to spike a small fever, nothing major, nothing to even like worry about. But I did sleep a lot. I slept from like 1 to 5:30 in the evening, and then I woke up only just to like feed my dog and let him out, and then I went back to sleep from maybe like 8 p.m. to about 6 this morning. And this morning I got some stuff done and I went back to sleep for several hours, and here I am. I wasn't going to record today, but I thought, you know what, let's just do this because next weekend is a holiday weekend and I already have some plans going on, hoping that I feel better by then. But either way, I thought now's a good time to record. So I wanted to share with you my experience at the Psychologist, because part of what my fertility clinic does is, and it's mandatory, is that you have to see one of their psychologists. And I guess my experience was okay. I really wasn't, the only thing I guess I was ready to talk about, or like I really wanted answers to, because I've done a lot of research. Like I didn't wake up one day and say, oh, I want to get pregnant. Like I've been thinking about this for years, and I've planned and thought a lot about what I want to do and how I want to do it. So the real big question that I had that I wanted to discuss with her was just how to share this with my child. Like, how do I share the birth story of my child with my child? Because this is sort of still unusual, because there are a lot of single parents out there. That's not unusual. There are a lot of people that get help getting pregnant. That's not unusual. But what is unusual is a single woman getting pregnant this way. And I wasn't sure, like, how do I share that with my child? How do I explain that to them, especially when they're young and don't really understand things? So that was my big question, and we did discuss that. And I thought, actually, even though this visit cost me out of pocket $225, and for the most part, I had already thought a lot about all the things she brought up. I am happy that we did get to discuss that question, and I have a good idea of what I'm going to do now. So she shared with me one of her patients wrote her own sort of children's book for her daughter, and it was her daughter's birth story told through pictures and things like that. So I thought it was super cute. That idea was super cute, and it was really great. And she said, actually, the sooner you start telling that story, the sooner the kid can really own it and eventually sort of understand it. She suggested, like, the sooner the better. Like, from day one, start telling that story, sharing the book, sharing the pictures, explaining why mommy wanted to, have a baby, and like how I went about it and all that stuff. Like, I just thought it was really cute and it was a great idea. So I'm likely going to do something like that. I'm not sure if mine will be in the form of a book or in the form of a video, but I definitely want to have something like that for my child to view or read or watch or whatever. So, yeah, we discussed also, just to let you know, in case, I don't know how many fertility clinics require this step, but, she asked me questions like, did my family know? How many people in my life know? I'm like, oh, honey, like, everybody knows. I have a YouTube channel. I mean, I even have, I work at a school, and some of the kids have heard that I'm trying to have a child, and they're older, they're high schoolers, they're seniors, and they're like, oh, so are you, adopting, or are you doing IVF? And I was like, why do you know this stuff? But this day and age, our school has a great health program and sex education program, so they know about all the different ways that people have babies. And that was like their first question, because they happen to know I'm also single. So they're like, oh, IVF, adoption, what choice? Yeah, I thought it was hysterical. So she asked me about like who knows, because a lot of women tend to be isolated or embarrassed by using this method, and that is so not me. Everybody knows everything, so that was good, and she was happy to hear about that. And then she asked me about how I was selecting my donor, and I expressed that I'm obviously using, she shared some fertility clinics, and a couple of them I'd heard of, other ones I'm looking at, and I'll do a how I'm choosing a donor video soon, so you'll see that. But I shared that I'm actually having my friends help me, so I'm going to narrow it down to 5 to 10 candidates, and then my friends and my mom as well will have a final say. But like, they're going to express their opinions and share their thoughts with me about the donors and help me narrow down the selection, because I have already been looking and it's like really daunting. I just like, it's so much, and it feels like such a big decision that I really do need people that I trust to help me narrow down which donor I'm going to use, and I'll get into that later. What else did we talk about? Well, she asked me if I wanted to have 1 or 2 kids, and I shared that, I'll be happy with 1. Like, let's get through that first, but I definitely would consider 2. I am an only child, and I would want my child to have a sibling, especially sharing this experience, like, especially because this is somewhat unusual, and maybe it's going to become less unusual. There are all types of families. There are lesbian couples who have kids, but they're still like in a couple, and there are gay men who adopt or have kids, but they're still sort of in a couple. And so I don't know, I still kind of think it's unusual for a single woman these days to sort of like choose to have a kid on her own. And I'm sure that'll change over time, but it is something like I haven't met anybody else who's done this and who's single. There are plenty of couples who've gone through it, but anyway. So what was my point? I'm sick and foggy and I can't think. Oh yeah, point is that I think I want to have 2, but I'll be happy with just the 1, because I'm already 38, and so if I do have 2, and that's something I also brought up, but she's like, oh, you'll have to discuss that with your physician, but I started to think like, okay, if I am going to have 2, well then does that mean that I need to like freeze some eggs? I'm not through this process far enough to know if I'll even do IVF yet, but let's say IUI works for me, then do I freeze some eggs? Because by the time I go to have a second one, I'm definitely going to be in my 40s. And if you watched my previous video, you'll know that after 40, you have a lot of rotten eggs. So, anyway, so she got me thinking about a couple of things. Now, 225 was rough, but I got some questions answered, and she was lovely, and it's nice to know that if something comes up, I'll have someone that I know already that I can discuss this with. But, the truth is, I wasn't going into this blindly. I'm not someone who keeps things to myself very well. When it comes to me especially, like, I share everything pretty much about my life to people. So, the conversation went well. It was fairly uneventful. So I think that's it for me on this topic. If you have questions, let me know down below. I apologize for the fogginess. I am not feeling well today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure to check out some of my other videos as well. I love to hear from people. I've been hearing a lot more from people, and I just reached a new threshold on my channel. I have over 100 subscribers, which I'm really, really excited about. That's like something, I mean, it's really surprising. I'm like, wow, there are 100 and something people who watch my videos and care about what I have to say. That's really cool. And I hope that you're enjoying watching this journey, and I look forward to sharing more with you. So again, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.